Hi everyone, welcome to this episode of Ask a New York City Tour Guide. We're going to look at Asian and Middle Eastern food in this episode. The guides have some great suggestions, and I'm standing here in Chinatown in Manhattan, so I'll look at a couple less expensive places that pretty good here in this neighborhood at the very end. See you soon.
What food should people try?
It might not be so unusual, but you've never had them like this. You need to go to Vanessa's Dumplings on 119 Eldred Street in the Lower East Side. Best dumplings ever. Little hole in the wall has been around for years and years and years, and you get like 6 for $4, and they're so good. So good. Vanessa's Dumplings.
Actually, it's a drink you should try here in Chinatown or any other, and yes, Chinatown, basically, bubble tea. Bubble tea is a very sweet tea with different flavors, green tea, I don't know, peach, pineapple, mango, right? But the funny thing of these bubble teas, they have bubbles on the bottom. And the texture of these bubbles are squishy and very weird. Actually, it's not for everyone, but you have to try it. It's sweet, it's nice, and you drink your bubble tea, and suddenly you're gonna find a ball in your mouth. But it's nice, and it's very good. You have to try that one.
So I had this fun story. I went to this restaurant called 99 Favor Taste because they were giving free hour of Hotpot for anybody who voted on that day. It was a primary election day. And Hotpot is Chinese food, but they give you a pot of broth that you put on your own. They have heaters on the table, and then you put things in it. You kind of cook it yourself and make like soup, but then you all pull all the things out. And I'd never had Hotpot before. When I got there, they actually kind of seat you at communal tables. I was probably one of 6 non-Chinese people there, and I sat with these 2 Chinese ladies, and the menu was all in Chinese and pictures. So since I had never had Hotpot before, I said to them, I've never done this before, what should I get? And they were so nice. They basically like picked out all these things that I never would have tried, but like also like safe things. I had the pig bone broth, which was really tasty, and then also like you put like chicken and shrimp and different beef and different vegetables. There was corn, there was like broccoli. There was all these things that you put in, you cook in the broth, and then you pull them out and you eat them. And it was really fun to do because it's very interactive, but it was also like really tasty, and it was a fun cultural thing because it literally was a place. It's in Chinatown, and it was a place that really wasn't a place where tourists went at all, or even people from New York who were not Chinese. So very authentic.
I always talk about Ahadees and Damascus because it's located in Brooklyn Heights, but it's a place of Mediterranean food, Middle Eastern food. And if you ever come to New York, you have to go there. The cheeses are amazing, the dried fruit, if you love dates, figs, banana chips, honey-covered cashews, chocolate cashews, you've got to go to those places. So if you ever come to the city, you've got to check out Ahadees and Damascus.
Definitely you should try authentic Chinese dim sum. And it's got the steamed buns and all that stuff that you like, but they're not as Americanized as they are at a place like P.F. Chang's or something. So they have like chicken feet. Have you had chicken feet? Try it. It's interesting. Tastes like chicken.
So I always try to convince people to go. Some people, when I say this, are grossed out. Some people are instantly into it. I really like this place called Kopitiam, down kind of between Chinatown and the Lower East Side. They have this Anchovy Ramen that is to die for. It's got these sort of fried little anchovies on top for some crispiness. 100% one of the most interesting and tasty foods I've had here in the city.
This place everyone should go to. It's called Shanghai Dumpling, 100 Mott Street. The way I remember the address is that Mott and apple. Mott is an apple, so you've got that, and you're in the big city, #1 city, some people say. What's better than 100, so 100 Mott Street. Why am I even talking to you about this? Is because on their huge menu, you want to order the #2. It is the pork soup dumplings. Now, if you've never had soup dumplings, I actually have to explain to you how to eat them, because if you bite right into them, you'll get soup right all over you. So what it is you can get it either in pork or I think vegetarian, but it's like a meatball wrapped in a wonton and infused with soup. Now, it's really, the wonton itself is really loose. So what you want to do is take your chopsticks, hold it at the very top of the dumpling and put it into the spoon. Now, this is the most important part. Take your chopstick, dig a hole, and then slurp. It's not really elegant, but that way when you're able to bite into it, you won't get that soup all over you. And it is it's 8 dumplings, $5 cash. I promise you, you will be so happy.
I'm all about unusual foods, and I'll give you like a few, just like to whet your appetite. Dim sum, Chinese breakfast, fantastic. A lot of great, go for the seafood dumplings, like shrimp dumplings, fantastic. Peking duck, again, this is a Chinatown deal. And then on the other side of that, you can go to the Punjabi deli, which is open 24 hours a day, and you get a pile of what is a number of some Indian dish. It's all vegetarian. Really great though. Like, you'll have no idea what you're eating. You ask the guy, he'll never tell you. It's great.
So there are a couple of unusual foods that you absolutely have to try when you're in New York. And 2 of them are gonna be Japanese fusions. I'm a huge fan of Takumi tacos in the Chelsea market. Beautiful, beautiful Japanese inspired tacos. And you wouldn't think to put those 2 things together, but oh boy, it's delicious. And then if you go over to Williamsburg, there's a brilliant little place called Shalom Japan, which is exactly what it sounds like. They make one of the most delicious matzo ball soups I've ever had. It's also ramen. And the third, my favorite street food in all of New York has gotta be waffles and diggus. And we all know what a Belgian waffle is, but this particular style of waffle has this caramelized, crunchy exterior, and they can do anything with those things. I would go through hell and back for that waffle.
So that was some pretty amazing advice from the guides, a lot of great suggestions. I am standing here in Chinatown on Pell Street outside Sichuan Hotpot. They do Hotpot, Peking duck, dim sum, all great, all fairly reasonably priced. And in this neighborhood, you can actually get lunches for less than $7. I'm here on Doyer Street, which is just off of Pell, and I'm in front of the Namwa Tea Parlor. It's one of the oldest dim sum restaurants here in Chinatown, and it's pretty good. A dim sum can add up, but it's often more than worth it. So stop by one of the dim sum parlors. And I'm now standing just down from Namwa at a place called the Taiwan Pork Chop House. Amazing food. The prices vary, but what they have in their window is something that's very important. They got an A, and that's what you're always looking for when you're at a restaurant here in New York City. That means they've been deemed clean by the Department of Health. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next week. More food.